How to become a confident demon in Fortnite. I get asked this all the time, so here we go. Doesn't mean you gotta play 10 hours a day. All that it means is you need to train the right parts of your game. Think about it like this. When you work out at the gym, you're working out certain body parts at a time. If you have really weak legs, you gotta start working out those legs more often. In Fortnite, if you have really weak parts of your game, that's gonna be destroying your confidence. So you need to start working on those weak parts of your game to get confident. Think about it. If you're crazy mechanical, like you can build really fast and you can piece control really well, but then you miss all your shots, your confidence is gonna be zero. How are you supposed to feel confident taking a fight with somebody when you know you can't really hit your shots? So I think you get the point by now. I'm gonna break this video up into certain parts. Timestamps are down below. I'll be telling you how to get confident in every aspect of your game. So figure out your weak point and go to that part of the video. First area we're talking about is early game. This is probably the most common thing that I get asked about on stream. You know, Jiven, can you make drop spot videos? Jiven, can you tell us how to survive off spawn? Here's my advice. First off, land at one location on repeat. Don't hot drop every single game at different locations. One spot that you like on the map that you're not gonna get bored of too quickly, and land there on repeat. Mastering a drop spot can take a while, you know, learning all the places you can't build, learning how to get angles, learning how to get mats the fastest so that you outloot your opponents and can win those early game fights easier. Learning how to disengage if you have bad loot and the enemy's pushing you with a shotgun and AR. Learning all this stuff is what makes consistent off spawns. And then of course, the last way to get better at early game is by getting better at box aspect of the game. Running 1v1s against players that are at your skill level or better is the best way to improve. You just gotta get off your butt and go do it. Nobody really likes to 1v1 somebody that they're just gonna get destroyed by, but how are you gonna get better at fighting people better than you if you never practice it, you know? So now with mid-game fighting, it really just comes down to that same thing, taking a lot of 1v1s and 2v2s, whatever you're playing, you know, if it's solos or duos, or even trios, practicing that stuff in creative, 1v1 realistics, 2v2 realistics, getting creative practice against people that are better than you. If you can get confident fighting people at your skill level and better, and start winning those fights more consistently and creative, it's just a matter of time that is going to transfer over to Arena. One thing obviously that people talk about all the time is that in Arena they have higher ping. The reason fighting in creative is so much better practice than fighting in game is because let's say you win an Arena game. You fight 15 players. It takes 25 minutes. In 25 minutes of Arena, you might find one or two good players, but you're gonna get 10 times the practice in creative. So Arena, just try to picture yourself in the creative fighting practice. Try to imagine that you're just in that creative map and you're full edit coursing, piece controlling, and that should give you confidence if you have enough experience fighting in creative. Like I said, confidence comes with skill, so if you've built that skill in creative, you should be able to apply it in Arena. Another way that I gain a lot of confidence with fighting is just by watching a really good fighter before hopping on. If you watch like a fighting tutorial or just watch some pros slay an Arena, it might help you get in the right mindset or just imitate that player when you're playing. I used to do that all the time, like watching Benji Fishy or Mr. Savage before hopping on. I would notice myself playing with a lot more confidence, so try that out, see if it helps you. Now, when it comes to endgame, you're gonna get confidence from scrimming, VOD reviewing, and trying to learn from pros. Endgame is something that you're never going to fully master. Every single endgame is a little bit different. People play very unpredictable. There's so much chaos in endgame. So that's something that you're going to be constantly improving throughout all of time. If you consistently scrim and consistently VOD review, there is no doubt in my mind that you will elevate your skill. Watch people on YouTube like Cease, Zycoma, even me, people that break down endgame strategies and really go in depth with it. If you take time and watch those videos, you're gonna learn a lot of stuff that you may not have noticed when you VOD review your own gameplay. But one of the most important things with improving an endgame is dropping your ego. Don't endgame, but when it comes to early game, I struggle. Like, yeah, work on your early game, but don't just fully disclude endgame, because endgame is one of the hardest parts of Fortnite. So for endgame, just VOD review, scrim, and learn from pros. And if you're a complete beginner with endgame, you should try playing late game Arena and 32 player Zone Wars. Those can be some entry-level ways for you to gain confidence with endgame. Like if you struggle to tunnel and tarp in endgames, then yeah, you should start out in those maps. But what about mechanics? If you improve your mechanics, this is gonna literally help you in every aspect of your game. It'll help you win more early game fights, win more mid game fights, and be more confident in endgame. Think about it like this. Let's say we're playing basketball. You're dribbling the ball, you know, and you have to fully think about like, okay, I'm gonna do a crossover here, and you're like looking at your hands, crossing over to your left hand. You have to really think about everything you're doing because you just don't have enough practice with dribbling and shooting and all that stuff. Versus somebody that's really good at dribbling and shooting, they're gonna be able to not look at their hands and fully scout what's going on around them in the game. Fortnite, if you're really comfortable building and editing, you're not going to have to think about it. You can focus on other things rather than your mechanics. So in endgame, if you're really confident tunneling, while you're tunneling, you can scout ahead and see what's going on in front of you and find better layers. In a fight, if you're not focused on your mechanics, but more so focused on the enemy and paying attention to what they're doing, you're going to be winning more fights. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is you need to get your mechanics so confident and so comfortable that it feels like walking. You don't even need to think. The mechanics, that comes from creative practice for the most part. There are so many creative maps that are built just to help you improve your mechanics. And if you haven't taken the time to practice in those maps, then I attached my how to get unwashed video. The reason I attached that is because I have every single creative map linked throughout that video, and it's organized so you can hop around to certain mechanics and see the different drills that you can do to improve those mechanics. Trust me, if you're trying to get better mechanics, watch that video. But one more thing that helped me improve my mechanics a ton, specifically on keyboard and mouse, was running Kovacs consistently. You would think that Kovacs is just built to help you improve your aim, but I'm telling you, for some reason, Kovacs increased my mouse control so much to the point that it gave me faster editing, better crosshair placement, and just overall improved my consistency in my mechanics. So I really recommend Kovacsing and practicing in creative maps until the icing on top of the cake. It's always going to be 1v1s. I'm telling you, that's the best way to improve. I hope this video helped you get some direction on how to gain confidence. Once again, confidence comes with success. Once you start winning more, you're gonna be more confident. But if you want to start winning, you gotta do the grind. Once again, that video is on your screen if you want drills to get better mechanics. Happy holidays, everybody. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.